Hey YouTube and all the guys from Full Fat Range Rover forum that have been helping with this. This is the L405, 2016 L405 with the Range Rover Sport gear shift lever installed. You can see that there's still plenty of room between the climate controls. I've got the pre-facelift climate controls, which frankly I like better, and so I'm good with them. You can see that there's a little bit of spalling around the edges. I've got enough to make one more. May or may not do that. I may mess with it and see if I can get the tilt in. If this thing was about where the silver piece is, it would be perfect. It's a little bit of a reach. Still get my elbow on the center console, and I can do the shifting and whatnot. So let's go ahead and take a quick drive. I'm gonna start it up. And push in the trigger with your trigger finger. Push it 2 détentes. You're in reverse. And reverse comes up everywhere. So to get into drive, you pull the trigger finger again and 2 détentes down. It always returns to the middle spot. If you don't push the trigger in, if you go all the way forward, it'll go to neutral. If you're in reverse and you pull it back without the trigger finger in, it's not going to go into drive. So it always returns to the neutral or the middle spot, and you have to pull the trigger to get it in. So we'll put it in drive. I'm going to let GoPro take over for now. So it's a nice day. Unfortunately, the truck's a bit of a mess. I've been working on cutting boards. So I'm in drive and we are off. I think the surround looks pretty good. It came out okay. I've got enough to make one more. I'm also talking to somebody on eBay about there's a brushed nickel. It's out of an L494, but there's a brushed nickel cup holder top, and I think brushed nickel would look fine. One word of caution is that this thing, you really, if you're switching between an L322 gear shift and this one, you really have to be intentional about it. In the L322, you just pull it back and you're in drive, and you push it forward, you're in park. With this thing, you can't. Yesterday I was dropping off some cutting boards and to a client, slammed it forward, and started getting out of the truck, and I was rolling backwards back down the driveway because it was in reverse. It wasn't in park. So you really have to be intentional about the button. I'm assuming I'm going about 30 miles an hour. I'm assuming that if I push the button now, it wouldn't go into park. We get up here to a stop sign. I'm gonna see if I can just push it into neutral, or if it knows that we're moving. So we're going on about 25 miles an hour, and it goes into neutral. And we push the trigger, we're back in drive. Go through. You can, I think you can see on the screen, I replaced the head unit with a Merriway head unit out of China. I can pop on the original screen and it comes back. I can, go backwards and forwards to all the to get to like ambient lighting and the 4x4 info and all that sort of stuff. If I go back to home, for navigation, I've got Waze. That was something that you set up. And I like the big wide screen. The getting out of it though is a little bit of a pain. There's a little teeny tiny ghost button here, and you have to push the ghost button and go back to home to get back. When you're driving down the road, that one's a little tough. One of the cool things that I like about this is I can go to apps, and so I've downloaded ESPN. It came with YouTube on here. It's got Google Maps, Gmail. The screen isn't super easy to use, and obviously you wouldn't do it when you were driving. But I also downloaded. I don't know if you can see it or not from back there, but the gap IID control. The only thing is the Bluetooth. It doesn't seem like I can turn on Bluetooth. The Bluetooth hooks up to my phone, but the Bluetooth does not seem to hook up to. There's a old Range Rover. Man, that thing looks rough. I should leave a note on their window and see if they want to get rid of it. But anyway, the gap IID does not seem to talk to the dongle, which was kind of a bummer. I was hoping that it would. That's interesting. Range Rover and looked like a Rolls Royce SUV. I didn't know Rolls was making an SUV. Had a fellow on, I think his name's Pete, on the Full Fat Range Rover forum. He has replaced his climate controls with the new touchscreen, and so I think it would be in the way a little bit. That one seems to be wider or thicker, and I think it would kind of knock out some of it. Although I got to say, looking at it now, there's a chunk you could probably see better. You know, I can't see the tips of my fingers right here, but that's about it. I can see them there. I can see them here. So it might knock it out. It might inhibit your view, but if you're happy with the spinning knob, then it's great. I mean, it feels plenty solid. I don't think the 6mm plywood is is too light. I was thinking about going to either 9 or 12, but I think this is fine. I don't feel any flex or anything like that. This is the 2016 lever that I found off eBay. Got it for like $125 delivered. It's got a little bit of a wiggle to it. The 2014, the original one that I destroyed the little connector. There's a connector and a wire loom that runs down the neck into a PC board down here in the base. It was solid. So if I take this thing back apart for some reason, I think I'm gonna take the harness and put it in the other base. UPS picking them up and putting them down. It's getting close to Christmas. I'm excited to have this thing back together. I've got a trip to a client tomorrow, and this thing just gets 10, 12, sometimes 15 miles per gallon better than my L322. If we would have had the L322 with a diesel engine, I know y'all had the TDV8, and that sounds like an awesome engine. If we would have had that, I don't know that I ever would have upgraded. I prefer the L322. To me, it's just more comfortable. Although when you've kind of lived with a truck for 11 years, it is, it kind of grows on you. So that one's just a little bit more comfortable. While we're still in it, flip it over to Sport. Probably can't see it. Sport on the dash. Sport lights up on here. The Tiptronic works from here. Go back into drive. Now I've got it set up to where the paddle shifters work even in regular drive. So they work. My wife thinks that paddle shifters in sport mode in a 2.5 ton truck are ridiculous, but it's I like it. It's kind of nice. So now that this thing's done, I will probably be checking the forum less. I don't know if you can reach me on email there. It's I don't know which one is tied to, which email address is tied to my account. You can always get me JDW Folkart, all one word, jdwfolkart@gmail.com, or post something on the forum. I will get it eventually. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, I pulled in the trigger and slammed the lever forward in my L322. That would have been park. In this thing, it was reverse, and so it started reversing down the driveway. We're here. What I did was I went boom, and it went and started to get out of the truck and started rolling backwards. All you have to do is push the P button. Goes into park. Park comes up, and you can apply the electronic parking brake as normal. And that is it. Thanks again for all the help and encouragement, and I'm sure that I will be looking for more advice in the future. Next thing is the heads-up display. You can sort of see it, I think. So here's what we were looking for. The L322 gear shift, I think, is perfect. It's in the perfect spot. It's got the little lights down there. The détentes just work from front to back, and I think it's a great design. I think this is just a great truck overall. I'm going to do a Fat American's perspective on L322 ownership one of these days, but it will